Hi, I'm Blake, and the ethical question that I want to ask is, are loot crates in video games ethical? I think that loot crates in video games aren't ethical and they should be taken out. I think a lot of loot crates involve exploiting children, and I think that's one of the main reasons I find it unethical. So the real question is, what are loot crates? Now, for those of you who aren't familiar, a loot crate is a virtual item in a video game that has a random assortment of items in it. Most of the time, to open one of these crates, you have to pay actual money to buy a key to unlock it. Inside these crates are a random assortment of items. They could be really common items that everyone finds in the game to really rare items, and sometimes these items are even expensive. They cost real money to trade them. Loot crates have become really popular, especially recently, in a lot of online multiplayer games. You play the game normally, and you have a chance to get one of these crates. EA Sports is a great example of this. So EA Sports is a game production company that has released titles from sports games like Madden to games like Star Wars Battlefield 2. Now, Star Wars Battlefield 2 is a game that released in 2016, and it caused a lot of attention and a lot of bad press around the game because of loot boxes. So the main problem that a lot of people had with EA is that these loot boxes or loot crates that you can get them and you can open them in-game normally just from playing. But once you add up the time it takes, they added up to be about 40 hours of online play to unlock characters that you could just buy. A lot of these loot crates have a slot machine look about them. They have a lot of lights and a lot of color and a lot of sound, and they give you this feeling, they give you this rush of excitement that, hey, I could win something really good. So Battlefront 2 specifically is a first-person shooter. So you run around the map controlling a player. And they're well-known players, like you have Luke Skywalker and you have C-3PO and Han Solo. A lot of the crates that you get and the items that are inside are just cosmetic items. They're just new skins for your player. They're just new armor, and it doesn't affect the game at all. But EA has gotten a lot of flack because these items aren't just cosmetic anymore. They actually make the game better. They make your character stronger. They make your armor better. So now it's not pay money for a chance to look better or look different. Now you're paying for a chance to be better and your guns shoot faster and your player to have more abilities than other players. So this is what they call a pay-to-win system. It's the more money you spend into the game, the better you're going to be at the game. And that's unfair in my eyes.
So here you have a good example of what Battlefront 2 crate opening might look like. As you see, you have a lot of different crates that you got just by playing the game. So you choose one of them and use real money to open it. You see how exciting and epic it looks. There's a lot of fun colors and a lot of cool animations that they programmed in to draw you in. So the first one, you open it and you get an explosive for one specific character. Then you open up a zoom for a scope for a specific gun. And then finally, you get a gun that's for a specific character. So as you can tell, that's not very exciting, right? So what does that make you want to do? You want to open another one. So you pull it up and it's one click. One click and you're already opening another crate, and that feeling of excitement continues. So another thing that you'll see a lot of these games do is have a daily login reward. So just from playing the game, you get a chance to open a crate, and it makes you want to come back. It makes you want to keep logging in every day and trying to get more crates so that you can get more skins or more weapons or whatever. Another really popular game that uses the same crate mechanic is CSGO. Now, this shooting game has been around for a long time, and a lot of people play the game just for the crate experience. There's items that sell for upwards of $1,500. That's real money people are putting into this game. And as I'm about to show, the crate experience is just like a slot machine. there's virtually no difference. So you pick a crate and pay money to open it. Now, most of these games like this don't show the odds. They don't show what the chances of winning these certain items are. So you open the crate and it spins through all the items like a slot machine. You get to see all the items go by and see, oh, look how close I was. I was 1 away or 2 away from getting that really rare, expensive item. Another video game that's really popular that employs the same mechanic is Overwatch. It's also a first-person shooter game, and in this game you have this same premise. You have this loot box that has these items in it, great animation, gold flying in the air.
I think video games are built to be addictive in some part. That's the draw of video games. They want you to come back. They want you to keep playing. Oh, just a little bit longer and I can get that. Just if I play a little bit longer, I can hit that achievement or play long enough to unlock this character. And a lot of these things are geared towards children. They look fun, they look exciting, and there's a chance to win, so why not play it? The problem is, one game leads to two, and it goes up and up and up, and a lot of these young kids may be getting their mom's credit card or finding a way to get the money to buy something out of this game. So EA Sports eventually ended up in court because people were saying that this was unethical to have these random chance crates in the game. EA responded by saying that these are not loot crates, it's not gambling, it's a surprise mechanic where you have a chance to win, but that doesn't mean it's gambling. It's fun and it's exciting, and they gave the excuse that we have this in the real world too. We have stuff like Kinder Eggs, or there's toys called hatchlings, where in Kinder Eggs you buy a chocolate egg and inside is this small toy. The only difference in my eyes is that whenever you buy a Kinder Egg, first you physically get it, which is a lot different to physically own an item than to just see it online through a screen. It's somehow, money isn't as real like that as it is when you're actually holding the item. So with a Kinder Egg, you still get the chocolate, even though there's a toy inside that could be random. It could be good, it could be really bad. You still get that chocolate. There's still something there, tangible, that you have. Whereas in these crates, you may even get duplicates of the same item that you already have. So sometimes you're not winning anything, but you still pay to open the crate. It can be really deceiving to a lot of children that are playing these games. So a lot of games, like EA, they've kind of gone to a route where the games are free to play. So instead of paying $60 for a video game, they're free. And a lot of these games make money off of microtransactions and loot crates and stuff that you don't need, but they're in the game as an incentive to, hey, if I play the game enough, I can get enough points to buy this item or to buy a crate that may have this item into it. So EA as a company faced a lot of backlash, especially after their court hearing, because there was so many other games that were already doing this. Why is EA being the only one called out? All video games have a rating on them. They can be rated E for everyone or be rated, mature for 17 and up. Now, a lot of the games that use microtransactions and that use loot crates are mature, 17 and up. But that doesn't mean that kids aren't buying them. So a lot of countries like Belgium and the Netherlands have started to ban loot crates in video games altogether. This leaves so much more work for coders and programmers and developers because now they have to go back into the game and remove those items just in the countries that don't allow it. This is making a lot of other companies that make these video games hesitant to put these loot crates or loot boxes in their games. Because now it's going to make more work for them in the long run. So why even put them in the first place? So there are some video games that do things right, in my opinion. They aren't gambling and they aren't exploiting children to make money. So there are some video games that aren't implementing loot crates and are doing just fine. And they're not running into any ethical dilemmas. One of those video games that's really popular, especially in the last few years, was Fortnite. So Fortnite doesn't have loot boxes. They have items in an item shop. You know exactly what you're going to get. Now it does cost real money, but it's not random. There's not a crate. There's not a virtual slot machine to roll. You see an item you want and you buy it. Also, these items are just cosmetic. They aren't pay to win, so you're not getting anything out of them except for looks. It's just cosmetics. It doesn't give you any edge over any other player. There's no extra armor. Your weapons aren't better. It's still you playing the game on equal plane as everyone else. You just look different.
So here's an example of Fortnite's item shop. As you can see, there's not any crates, there's no random chance. It shows exactly what you get whenever you pay money for it. A lot of these games work on a digital credit system. So you convert real money into this virtual currency and you use that to purchase items. Now, as you can see here, there's a lot of different items that update every day. You can see that there's a lot of different ways to make money off of video games without resorting to gambling or exploiting children. This is a great example. It shows that you don't have to have a slot machine, you don't have to have this random chance, and you can still make money as a company. There are ways around it, even if you have your game be free to download like Fortnite is. The game costs zero money to get, and all of the items that you get in game are purely cosmetic.
So Rocket League is another video game that not only does crates the right way, they change their whole setup with how they do it. So Rocket League is basically soccer with cars. So the only things you can get in-game are decals for your car, or toppers that go on top of your car, or boosts, but there's nothing that changes the way the game plays. Everyone comes with the exact same cars they can use. The game is more skill-based, so all these items are just cosmetic. Nothing about the core game changes. So what Rocket League used to do is they had crates in their game. Randomly playing games, you might get a drop. And in this crate, you have a chance to win a variety of different items, from really common to really rare. Now it costs $1 to open up this crate. So for a while, people even made a name for themselves by trading online and buying these crates and opening them on stream or on YouTube.
So a lot of these YouTubers will open crates on stream and you see the slot machine going again. And you see all the items roll past and then the excitement once you get something good. So imagine a kid going online and watching these videos of these YouTubers opening up crates and winning all the time. But there's no telling how much money they had to spend to win all these great prizes.
Well, last year, Rocket League decided to change all the crate system so that it wasn't based on gambling or random chance anymore. Now, instead of paying $1 to open a random item, you actually know exactly what you're going to get.
So here's an example of the new Rocket League shop. Now, instead of getting a random crate where you have an assortment of different items that could randomly drop, now you can specifically get the item that is available. There's anything from wheels to paint finishes to all kinds of stuff that normally would be out of a crate. Now, you still have random chance. After games, you get random drops, but it's not a crate. It's an item, and you can choose to buy it or not.
So as you can see, there are a lot of video games that are doing it right, and they aren't literally putting gambling in their video games. So in conclusion, I think that loot crates in video games are unethical. I think the main reason that they're in video games is to exploit mostly children. The loot crates look like a slot machine, they sound, and they give you that rush that gambling does. If you wouldn't take your child into a casino with you and set them down in front of a slot machine, then you probably shouldn't support loot crates and loot boxes in video games because it's basically the same thing.